So hello startups and entrepreneurs. Now we are going to meet founder of Kiwi QA.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Nirav Rawal. I am the co-founder of Kiwi QA Services. My co-founder is Niranjan Limbajia. We started this company roughly about 8 years back. Kiwi QA Services is an independent software testing company. We test software applications and products for the softwares that are being developed and the products that are being designed. Our services include primarily in the area of functional testing, automation testing, load and performance testing, security testing, mobility testing and handset certification. We have a team of about 100 plus people. We are based out of Ahmedabad. We have operations in Bangalore and we also have a sales office in Australia. In last 8 years, we have worked with roughly about 450 plus customers. Our customer base includes startups and mid-sized companies based in India, UK, Australia and US. Some of the marquee names with which we have worked are in the likes of Paytm, Cardeco, Inshots, HDFC Bank, and all across. We started this company with a view in mind that we've thought that there's a lot of gap when it comes to providing QA services for startups and mid-sized companies. So startups typically are always in short of resources and they would not have the right team to build the product or rather test the product. And that's where we came in and that's the gap that we saw. And as we speak, our customer base has evolved from purely being startups to now large enterprise customer is what we work with. And we aim to become a 500 people company in next couple of years.
If a startup doesn't have a testing person or a testing team, they have to put their application in your platform, or we have to send the entire code to your company.
Sure. So what we do is we are a services company, so we don't develop a platform. However, we have our own frameworks. A lot of these are open source frameworks. We do not require the code base for someone to get their application tested. What they need to do is they need to send us the credentials of the application and we understand the application. We follow a process of writing a test case repository which documents the entire functionality of the application, and then we start testing the application. We report the bugs and issues, and then the team on the customer end would start fixing it, and then they revert back to us for retesting and the regression testing. As the product matures, we educate our customers to move into the automation testing where without any manual requirement, the product can be tested on its own. So we could actually automate a lot of the test case scenarios and help them to reduce their time to go into the market. And we have seen that as the product further matures, often there's a requirement that whether the product is scalable or not. And that's when we recommend our customers to do performance testing, which would mean that we would kind of simulate the scenarios in terms of if about 1,000 users or 10,000 users or 100,000 users are using the application, is the application going to be scalable or is it not going to work? So at each point of time, depending upon the size that they are and the maturity of the product, we recommend that what kind of testing is required for them.
How you people will communicate with your customer and your testing team and customer, how they will communicate?
Sure. So there are several ways that we communicate. So when we start a project, we have a project management process in place. We appoint a test lead or a test manager who is one point of contact to the customer. We use Slack as a communication tool. So we invite our customers to be part of our communication channel where on day-to-day basis, almost on real-time basis, there's a communication happening with our customers. The other way is that we have daily stand-up calls with our customers on their projects so that we get to understand what they are doing, how could we contribute it to their project, and what are the challenges that we are facing in case if we are facing any. We send them a daily status report at the end of the day, which again the customer would get to know that, okay, what's the kind of work that's being done by our team. We have a weekly status call, which is head by our test manager with the relevant stakeholders on the other side. Again, which is more like a weekly update, and a monthly governance call with our customers where senior leadership team would participate to understand that the expectations that the customer has are being met or not. So all in all, there are a lot of multiple communication channels that we have to ensure that the communication is intact and then nothing slips out.
If a startup in the entry level have developed some application, so how long it will take to engage and complete the entire testing
So again, it depends upon the size of the application. Typically, if so, there are two ways we work with our customers. They involve us at a very early stage when the product is being developed or it's in the ideation stage. It's easy for us to come in at that stage and kind of ensure that the quality assurance of the product is being done when the product is being developed. In that case, the feedback is almost on real-time basis that we give to our customer. The second is often the customer come to us when the product is developed or it's half the way through. That's when we kind of give them a test plan in terms of how much time would it take. So, but it could take anywhere between couple of weeks to months, depending upon what's the scope of the work. But minimum time, I think we look at is at least 2 to 3 weeks. And we have had engagements which are on the continuous basis, which would go on for a couple of months as well. Yeah.
That's great. So is it affordable for startups?
Absolutely. I mean, our model is such that it's designed for startups and high growth tech companies. So that's one thing that we are absolutely kind of always conscious about, that we kind of the value of our services is affordable to the startups where there's always a crunch of the funds. But at the same time, they would want to ensure that the product is being delivered in a proper fashion. So yes, we are affordable, and that's what our USP is all about. Yeah.
So in testing, no, you will provide this issue, bugs are there. So you give the list of bugs, okay? So if that in startup, so that tech guy doesn't know how to fix that bug. So do you help in fixing those bugs?
So we kind of are purely an independent testing company. So we don't fix bugs and issues. However, we prioritize the bugs for them so that it helps them to take a decision. So when we report a bug, we report with a classification of P1 to P4. P1 is absolutely critical bug, and P4 is something that we could live with it and you could fix it when it is required. So it's very easy for the customer to kind of prioritize what is that they should fix. There have been cases where our customers often may not have the team to fix the issues. At same point of time, we have other partners that we could introduce who can help them to fix if required. But often when they have their in-house development team, it's recommendable that it's their own team which looks at the issues and fixes it. Yeah.
If any product is in framework stage, means it will be better if you reach at that stage itself, right? So for only the testing thing, you will charge, or even the initial thing, no? For that also it is an additional service, or it includes in the testing charge?
So our model has, we have multiple business models. So one is where we engage right upfront. So we have a QA resource working with the company very up in the beginning. So at that point of time, the cost of the resource is included as soon as they start engaging in the project. The other model is where the customer has designed their product and they would want us to do a scope-based testing. So they will come to us and then we'll kind of look at the scope, we'll test it, and then we'll revert back. So that's more like a one-time fee that we would charge for testing the application. But about 80% of our customers would prefer to be on the other side, where they would want us to be part of their team on long-term basis and continuously keep testing the application. Yeah.
So in this era, so more startups and entrepreneurs will have a larger vision and mission, but they would have developed something else. But they have given some features and user cases, but they have developed something else. So it is a complete mess. So did you face those things?
So we face that all the times, right? So what is that they have developed and what should have been developed, and that's exactly what our job is to find out. So what we do is, we instead of testing the product on what is being given to us, we look at the requirements of the product. So we study the requirements, we write the test case repository based on the requirements, and then we look at the product. And often that's where we find a mismatch in terms of what was supposed to be designed and what has been designed, right? So and we have found innumerable cases where what was supposed to be designed has never been kind of developed at all. And we have also found cases that there have been applications which have been developed, but then there are some critical functionalities are not working the way it was expected to work. But that's our core services, where our goal is to find bugs and issues and make the product more scalable and make the products bug-free. Yeah. So as our tagline says, so Kiwi QA, because bugs aren't meant to meet your customers, so they should meet us before they meet your customers. Yeah.
So startups and entrepreneurs, if you want to get some good testing people for your startup apps or applications, or even the entrepreneurs, if you want a good team of testing, so please contact Kiwi QA. Thank you. Together we grow.